Hey folks, Ash from Being SWENGLISH here, and as you might be aware, from the 1st of December, the new permit to stay in Sweden for Brits like me went live on the Migrationsverket website. But there is so much confusion from fellow Brits about whether or not they need to complete it. Now, I put out a video about this a few weeks ago when this permit was first announced, and where the instruction text on the Migrationsverket website really wasn't at all clear. To compound that even worse is that advice was given out from people in various Facebook groups, which was incorrect. They said if you've got uphill till strand, I can't remember if that's the right term. Basically, if you've got Swedish granted permanent residency, then they were saying you don't need to apply for this new permit. That's incorrect. Now, I'll explain why. You really don't need to get it if you don't want to, but you should. And the reason is that the EU Withdrawal Agreement from the EU for the UK comes with it a few benefits for Brits. And there are numerous benefits. There's a big document about the Withdrawal Agreement and an analysis of it as well. And there are some elements of that Withdrawal Agreement that we get entitled to as Brits living in Sweden that we wouldn't get entitled to if we just maintained our regular Swedish permanent residency permit. Now, that makes this very important because if you miss out on this opportunity and you don't apply for this permit, you may not get another opportunity to gain these additional benefits and additional protection. So there's absolutely no harm in you applying for it. And if you do it and you get it granted, brilliant. It means you've just got that added level of safety and security, right? Which is going to stop you worrying about being somebody from another country living in a different country and just having that concern that, can I stay here? Even if you've got ties here, like I do with my little boy who's Swedish citizenship and my wife, it still had me really unsettled and really worrying about it. Anyway, I'm putting a link to the application in the description below. Please, if you're a Brit in Sweden and you haven't applied for this yet, please do. Now, the exception is if you have citizenship. If you have Swedish citizenship, you do not need to apply for this new permit. But any other scenario, you do. Okay, hopefully that's nice and clear. Now, in terms of the application itself, it takes about 5 minutes to complete. You enter your reasons as to why you think you have a right of residency, be it that you have family members over here, or you're employed by a Swedish employer, or you're so wealthy that you can just sit on your piles of money in a nice big Swedish house somewhere. Unfortunately, I didn't have that option to fill out, but I did have the family and also my employment. So have your contract of employment ready. The more reasons you put there, the more justification you have for being granted it. So do put as much as you can. I put my family, my job, and to do that, I needed to submit my job contract to show that I am employed by a Swedish employer. That's quite important as well. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. Some of the questions are not very clear. And if you do get stuck on some of the questions or the options that you're given, just a tip, click Swedish in the top right-hand corner to switch it to Swedish mode and then use the web browser's translate feature. I know it sounds ridiculous, but some of the translations to English that they've made are not very good. And unfortunately, falling back to Google makes it a bit easier to understand. But anyway, in summary, if you're a citizen in Sweden, you don't need it. If you've got citizenship, you don't need it. If you've got anything else, permanent residency or not, you need to apply for it to give you that added level of security. All right, folks, hopefully this helps and hopefully there's less misinformation spread because it's already confusing enough when you're thinking of moving to Sweden or any other EU or European country. The last thing you need is this kind of mixed misinformation that we've seen on Facebook and elsewhere. All right, chaps and ladies, hopefully that helps. Cheers. Bye-bye.